Today I want to talk about a few advanced techniques that will help you win the game of, getting more and more clients for your agency, and why it's important to not only master the basics, like learn how to set up an e-commerce shop for your customers, run ads and all that, but you also want to, know a little bit more than your competition, because as you know, this is a free market, free economy, a lot of competition in the consulting and agency space, and you are competing with a lot of people potentially for the same client. So what I'm going to talk about today are a few advanced techniques that hopefully will give you a little bit of an edge over your competitor, will put you ahead in that competition to win that client. And also it's good to know because sometimes some clients, their business problem is a little bit harder to solve than average, and you want to be equipped with the latest and greatest techniques to help you help your clients. And I'm going to start with the first one, which is something that I've seen, but that's called two-step funnels. That's the first thing I want to teach you. And two-step funnels or multi-step funnels are used in digital products already. A lot of digital products actually use these techniques, but in e-commerce, it is I don't see it used very often, and I'll explain in a second why. And first of all, let me show you, I pulled up, if you look at my screen, I pulled up a website, an e-commerce website that I actually use to buy, sometimes I buy shoes from this website. It's called Taft, no affiliation with the company. And this is actually built in Shopify. So before I go into two-step funnels, I want to show you how I know this site is built in Shopify. There are a few websites out there, and this is something you can do if you are researching a client, by the way. This is kind of like a side technique. If you're researching a client and you want to know what technology stack they're using, or if you have a potential client and you know they have a competitor, right? And you want to analyze the competitor and learn about the competitor before going to that potential client and say, hey, listen, your competitor is using A, B, and C, and I want to build a similar thing for you so that you don't get left behind in the market. That's literally what you're trying to do for your customers. A lot of people do not adapt to new technological changes, and they get left behind in the market, and you want to try to help them to stay on the cutting edge. And this tool right here is one way for you to do research. I just looked up, there are a bunch of websites that use this. One of them is called, the one that I use is Vapalizer, and or however it's pronounced. You can see the URL right here, and and there are a bunch of other websites that use it. This is the one that I normally use. Just grab the URL of the website, in this case taftclothing.com, and just put it in here. It is right there already, and just click search, and it will crawl the website, and it will tell you exactly what technology stack it uses. And right here you can see it's built in Shopify, and it also looks like it is built in Shopify. It has Shopify's structure. So going back to this is a typical Shopify, it's well done, but it's a typical Shopify e-commerce website. And a lot of your competitors will be able to build a website like this for a potential customer, right? In this case, it's shoes, and in this particular case, you're looking at a particular shoe. It looks great, great images, great description, but here's the problem. Shopify only allows you to build one-step funnels. In other words, you cannot set up a two-step or three-step opt-in and then purchase page. You're literally funneling the users into a page where the only option that the customer has is to buy the product. And as you know, the bounce rate, meaning number of people that go to a page and instead of buying the product, they just check it out and you never hear back from them, is very high, right? So what I suggest to do in those cases is actually, if you want to make an improvement on building just a simple Shopify site for your customers, is to actually build a two-step funnel. And I'll show you how I did it for one of our companies, MentorBox, in the early days of the company before we had a completely developed technology stack. So the simple solution that we had in a second. But the way to think about it is that most e-commerce websites are a collection of product pages. So there's a product page right here. So product checkout page, just like the page that I showed you, where you can go and buy the product. And there are a bunch of fields here and a buy button. Okay, so credit card info, let's say. Credit card info, customer goes to the page, sees the product information, puts in their credit card information and purchases a page. Now, this is obviously a very simple pay. It's a simple way of doing it. It has a lot of advantages. Most importantly, it's easy to set up. But there are a few setbacks. For example, if you want to run paid traffic to this website, in other words, you want to, let's say, you want to run Facebook advertisement to this website. So as you know, if you have run Facebook advertisement before, and if you haven't, just know this. To optimize a Facebook campaign, you need to have a lot of conversion events, meaning a customer, after they see the ad and click on it, they have to take an action, meaning in this case, the only action available on this page is to actually purchase the product. They have to take an action. And then based on, the more of those action data points you collect, meaning the more purchases you collect, the Facebook algo itself optimizes. And on top of that, you can create things like lookalike audience. Okay, and if you don't know what lookalike audience is, as you collect purchase data from customers, you can ask Facebook to create to create a custom audience of people that kind of look like people that have bought a product. Now, here's the problem. This is where one of the areas where a one-step funnel, like the way this website is set up, normally loses in a competitive environment to a two-step funnel. So in order to collect enough data to actually create a good marketing campaign for a one-step funnel, you have to have a lot of purchases. And as you know, it takes a large budget to actually create a lot of data points in terms of create a lot of purchases to actually be able to to be able to optimize your Facebook campaign. That number, a lot of times Facebook itself says that under 50 data points, it cannot optimize effectively, and getting to 50 purchases for a lot of people is kind of like a goal that they cannot achieve in short term, right? So that's one area where two-step funnels are useful. Two-step funnels, I'm gonna switch the pages a little bit, is a simple thing. You say, okay, I'm gonna improve on the normal, simple e-commerce website by adding, this is the product page, I'm going to add a landing page with an opt-in at the bottom of the page that then goes to product page. So you have step one, have a landing page where you present the product. You use cognitive biases. One of the restrictions of using a one-page Shopify checkout is that it's hard to put all cognitive biases into it, right? Shopify is a very strict format. So you put everything on here, you make the sale here, then you capture the customer's information or email, okay? And it's a lot easier for the customer to just give information versus actually purchase the product, and then send them to step two, product page or checkout, okay? And I'll give you an example. This is, I went down the memory lane and looked up, initially when we launched MentorBox, just like everyone else, I set up a simple Shopify page and I sent customers to the Shopify page, and that was like the first week or two of the product. Easy to set up. It was interesting to be able to launch it so quickly, but the problem is a one-step page where you actually sell a product doesn't do a good job of converting the customer. So I set up a landing page pretty quickly. I want to say within 2 weeks of launching the company, I set up a landing page to improve what I was doing with just Shopify. The problem is in Shopify you cannot have a landing page with an opt-in that goes to a product page. So what I did was very simple. I actually created a ClickFunnels landing page, and I actually found the page. You can actually see it. It's a simple page. here on my screen, you can see it. What is at the top, 10 minutes that will change your life, is the hook. If you've seen my other videos from other programs, I always talk about the hook of the page is the reason that people continue to pay attention to your page. So the hook is at the top, VSL or video sales letter at the bottom, clear call to action, click here after watching. And then, you know, this is basically benefit stack. I have testimonials for social proof, and you get the idea. Now, MentorBox's website look completely different these days, obviously. But, you know, back in the days when we launched, I had to put a lot of cognitive biases and explanation to actually explain the product. And this is literally where you will be when you start. So, you know, if you don't have established brand or your customer doesn't have established brand, you're basically doing exactly what you see here. So this page is actually built in ClickFunnels. All right, so this is the landing page, step one. And then at the bottom of it, I have an opt-in. So you put your name and email. All right, and now this button doesn't work because obviously the architecture of our website have changed. But basically, once you clicked claim your box at the bottom, it forwarded you to the one-page Shopify checkout. So I had, the way I set it up, and again, this is like something that you can easily set up for clients. This really didn't take more than 1 hour to set up. I mean, there's copy and stuff, but once you have the copy, you have the artwork, it takes an hour to set up. So you have a ClickFunnels landing page here. You send them then to a Shopify checkout. And it's interesting because it's a very simple technique, but I don't see many people using it, which is an opportunity for you guys. So most people are doing just this. So in info products, people build complicated funnels and ClickFunnels or similar software, but when it comes to e-commerce, most people are just building simple one-page checkout, and you can win against those guys by setting up a multi-step, or in this case, a simple two-step funnel, and you will just, you know, eviscerate the competition because you have a lot of advantages with a structure like this. And I tell you why. Let's say for every 10 opt-ins, you get one purchase, okay? So let's say from 100 clicks that you send to this page, 10 of them opt in and 1 of them purchase. That's in a two-step process. In a one-step process, you have 100 clicks going directly and capturing only 1 purchase. All right? So you already see what's the advantage here. So for me to get to 50 purchases to even start optimizing a Facebook campaign, I need to get 5,000 clicks. All right? So that's a high budget to just start, you know, the process of optimization, versus in a two-step, I can optimize to opt-in as a proxy for purchase, and I have 10 times more opt-ins than purchase. Therefore, I need 1/10 the budget of a one-step funnel to actually optimize in a two-step funnel. Hopefully that makes sense. So in a two-step funnel, I can optimize, instead of optimizing to purchase, I can optimize to opt-in right here, and the volume of opt-in is higher. Therefore, Facebook campaigns optimize quicker, and on top of it, I can create lookalike audience. To have an effective lookalike audience, you have to have like about 1,000 data points, and 1,000 purchases is, like, for most people, it is just prohibitive in terms of the marketing spend that they have to allocate. However, if you're getting 1,000 opt-ins to create a good lookalike audience is a lot cheaper, a lot faster. So that right there is one major advantage of this. And now I give you a second advantage. The second advantage is shopping cart. So when you have bounces, right? So let's say, going back to the page I was showing you, this particular page for this particular pair of shoes, if I run Facebook traffic to this page, and people are interested, but at that moment of time, they don't have their wallet, they're driving, they cannot enter their information, the credit card that they have bounces for security reasons at that point, or whatever, right? They're not completely sure about it. That's actually the most likely scenario. They're kind of interested, but not enough to tip the scale, to make the purchase right there. You lose the customer. The customer bounces. Now you can do retargeting later and pay to show your ad to them later on Facebook, Instagram, Google, YouTube, and bring them back, but that's paid retargeting, right? So you don't have anything, you don't know much about the customer, you don't have their email or anything. In a two-step funnel, you basically get to do email retargeting. So what happens in my page, and imagine just for a second in your mind, imagine the first page, landing page in ClickFunnels is this page with an opt-in at the bottom, goes to a second page that is built in Shopify, whatever is the physical product that you're selling. At the bottom of the page, you have opt-in. So a lot of people that come in and have any level of interest are likely to enter their information to see the price or more details. Some of them will bounce, just like they will bounce on the other page that I showed you, but you have captured the email. So you can run email campaigns, you can run all sorts of, you can do a lot of things in terms of bringing them back using a well-designed email campaign to give them an offer later on, to get them interested into your product, or target them for cross-selling. For example, if somebody is interested, comes from Facebook ads and looks at this pair of shoes and is somewhat interested but doesn't purchase, that person, maybe you might be able to convince that person to buy the same product later, or if you have their email, you can send them a collection of other products that you have to them later. Maybe they're interested in a different product, and they are so interested in that other product that it kind of crosses that barrier that you have to overcome for them to convince. So, to summarize, if you have a customer, if you have a client that if you have a potential client that is kind of like on the fence about choosing you versus another agency, or if you have a potential client that has an e-commerce site, this technique actually can be used for those customers that have an e-commerce site, but their e-commerce site is not well designed and optimized. You can go and tell them, hey, listen, you have an e-commerce website, great for you, but you have a one-step e-commerce website. There is no landing page. It is not designed for paid traffic or other sources of traffic. It is not optimized. It's the simplest form of e-commerce website that you could potentially have. And it's great that you have an e-commerce website, but let me improve on it. And then what you do is that you design convincing, persuasive landing pages using ClickFunnels or any other product. Honestly, you can use any other products to build the landing page, and then send them and put that before the checkout page, the product page, and create a two-step opt-in funnel, just like I showed you. And then you can easily articulate all the benefits of going from a one-step to a two-step funnel in e-commerce. And some of them, just to remind you and to summarize them for you, is that more data points, therefore cheaper customer acquisition. Okay, so because you have more data points, because you have an intermediary step between the first step and second step, you have a data point in the middle, you can optimize to opt-ins, and that means you need less spending, or you can also say less marketing spend, to achieve optimal results. So that's the first thing. 2, email marketing to bounced users. Remember, if you have a one-page checkout, people either purchase or don't purchase. There's nothing in the middle, all right? But if you have a two-step funnel, people opt in and some of them purchase. So there's another point in the middle, and that's email opt-in. So you can capture some of those people that bounced. Versus in the first scenario, you're not able to capture the bounces. I mean, you can do, like I said, paid retargeting on Facebook or Google, but there's no email remarketing, okay? And I give you a third bonus that actually will help you. You can stack more cognitive biases into a landing page, and that's like easily, I mean, maybe you have to phrase it differently to a potential customer that doesn't know much about cognitive biases. You can easily say, listen, on a landing page, you will have higher conversion because we can provide more persuasive arguments for customers to buy your product, okay? So higher conversion on landing page. LP is landing page. So again, to simply put, there's so much you can do in Shopify. The pages have specific formats in general. If you have a checkout page, it has a specific format. Going to a two-step or even a three-step funnel, you're able to present more information and provide more persuasive arguments to the customers that why they should buy the product. Therefore, normally you get an advantage. In most cases, you get an advantage by going, just in terms of conversion, by going from one step to two steps, and sometimes even going to three steps, which is exactly using the same method. You can have a landing page on ClickFunnels. If you want to go more advanced, you can have a second page, and then last page is checkout, which if you're building it on Shopify. And the beauty of it is that they don't even have to be on the same platform. So like I said, even myself, for the first few months of operating or launching MentorBox, we were selling our physical box. Our landing pages were on ClickFunnels, and the order form capture was on Shopify. I think we were like that for, I want to say, for 3 months. We ran the company like that, no problem, very smooth, using two different software. I mean, it's not the best setup in the world, but it's super simple. Now, the next step is to build custom software that allows you to do this smoothly in one setup, but you really don't need to. For most people, you can just go ClickFunnels or Lead Pages, go to Shopify, and that would give you a superior performance compared to just using Shopify. And with that, I'm going to wrap up technique number 1. And here's a quick assignment for you to actually try to put what I just talked about into practice. So take an e-commerce website that you've built, or a customer that has an e-commerce website, or if you don't have an example, just go to the one that I showed, taftclothing.com. Again, no affiliation with this company other than I bought a couple pairs of shoes from them. But go to their website, click on one of the products, and right here I have one of them right in front of me, if you can see my screen, and design a landing page for this. Just like look at this and say, okay, so it's pretty simple, it's kind of persuasive already. You see the pair of shoes, there are no videos, I mean the description is pretty short, and there are no bonuses, there's no scarcity built into this, there's no social proof. So there's obviously, you can improve on this, and I want you to do that improvement by creating another page in, let's say, ClickFunnels before this. And in order to do this, you just go to ClickFunnels, you pick one of the templates on there, an opt-in page template. It's called an opt-in page template. This, I believe, MentorBox's first page was a simple, I can't remember which one, but we picked one of the basic templates that ClickFunnels had, and you just put the logo, change the design, put some text on there, and create an opt-in page, and then send it to the Shopify page. And do this, use this example for this website or any other e-commerce website, and just try to create a landing page for a particular one-step e-commerce website. And then comment below on your experience, what challenges you faced, And if you want to create, and if you have a before after, like if you have a one-step e-commerce website that you turn into a two-step funnel, put the links there so that we can check it out. Thank you for watching.